What we're going to do now is practice the wo-me-choom, wo-me-choom, and wo-me-choom. So what we're doing is we're saying where we come from, where our people originate from. Wo-me-choom, I come from a certain place. People weren't hearing that chalk on the end. They could see my mouth doing something. They weren't picking up that sound on that. Wo-me-choom.
Some tips for recognizing the difference. One of them was the length at the end of the word. If it's drawn out longer, you know it's that first person. If it's kind of shortened, you know it's the third. And then also the rounding of the lips. I was telling them, watch you on your video.
Turap wo-me-choom. Turap wo-me-choom. Kues wo-me-choom.
wo-me-choom.
Brittany, Kues wo-me-choom.
Ekwan wo-me-choom.
Erica, Kues wo-me-choom.
Turap wo-me-choom.
Victoria, Kues wo-me-choom.
Shregon, wo-me-choom.
Wo-me-choom, wo-me-choom, and wo-me-choom. Wo-me-choom, wo-me-choom, wo-me-choom. Victoria, Shregon, wo-me-choom. Brittany, Pequan, wo-me-choom. Erica, Turap, wo-me-choom. Chumum has. Turap, wo-me-choom. Victoria, Shregon, wo-me-choom. Tiana, wo-me-choom. Wait, quell. Brittany, wo-me-choom. Pequan. Erica, wo-me-choom. Turap.
We were talking earlier about dialectical differences, and one of the differences in dialect, the difference in the A sound. Somebody like Erica or Barbara or Tiana, who are from down here, closer to the mouth, might say the word for water, pa-ah, pa-ah. And then someone from further upriver might say that same word, pa-ah, pa-ah. So there's a little bit of a difference in the A sound from upriver to downriver.
But it's not so much of a difference that you wouldn't understand what that person was saying. It's not a completely different word or something you wouldn't understand. Like the coastal dialect was something a little different that my understanding is not everybody could understand that part.
We had somebody who came from the village of Sa. It's right here. It's kind of further up the river. And just by the way that she said her village, even though I didn't know at the time where that was on the village map, I knew that it was a little bit further upriver because of how she said it. And then the same thing happens. Sometimes you'll have people from a village way down in Nur territory. They'll say cha pek. But somebody from upriver who's saying the same village might say cha pek. So you kind of can tell where people are coming from.
Turap, wo-me-choom. Yes, Brittany. wo-me-choom, Pequan. Victoria, wo-me-choom, Shregon. Let me ask some questions again. Brittany, Kues wo-me-choom.
wo-me-choom, Pequan.
Victoria, Kues wo-me-choom. Brittany,
Brittany, wo-me-choom. Pequan,
Kues wo-me-choom.
wo-me-choom. Shregon.
Oh yeah. Erica, Kues wo-me-choom.
wo-me-choom. Turap.
Erica, Kues wo-me-choom. Victoria.
Shregon wo-me-choom.
Yeah. Tiana, Kues wo-me-choom. Erica.
Torah, wo-me-choom. Here's a question I have about well is sometimes I see it written with a W and sometimes I see it written with an L at the end. I always kind of go halfway in between, but I don't know if that was a difference in dialect from upriver, downriver. I always kind of trend towards the W a little bit more.
Yeah, I think what it is somewhere in between the L and the W. It's that writing thing. I think when people really don't know how to write it, wait, quell. It could be either way. I don't know.
That's a tricky one, especially for people like myself. I didn't necessarily grow up speaking Yurok, but the first one is that noise in the middle of it. It's easy once you know how, but figuring out how to do it is tricky. And then like Barbara said, it's kind of like the difference between the W and L there, and it's halfway in between.
You could say saw talk, the third person way of saying to go, but another way to say that is saw talk. You can almost not hear that little L I'm making at the end, but you can see my mouth making it. Saw talk. You have to watch people's mouth when they're speaking too.
That's interesting because then that's the same endings like saw talk.
Shagel. English speakers will sometimes really hit that L hard because we're so used to doing that. But Shagel, a really light L.
Right. Mate wo-me-chook, mate wo-me-chomp, mate wo-me-chook. Also, we haven't talked about the short form. I could say nemau, and that's short for mate wo-me-chook, nemau. So you just add that possessive on the front of it. Ne, eh, we, or u. And we'll talk more about those KMPW rule when it changes from we to u. It's that writing thing. Turep nemau. Turep nemau. Kemau. Kemau. Brittany Kemau. Pequan. Brittany Kus Kemau.
Tekwan Nema. Victoria Kusk Ema.
Shregon Namau.
Dragon Kema.
Erica, Kus Kamau.
Turep Namau.
Kusk Ema.
Weshkwal Nemau. Kuskemau.
Tekwan Nema.
Turep nemau. Brittany Pequan umau. Pequan umau. Brittany. Shregon umau. Victoria. Turep umau. Erica. Tiana Waitquel umau. Turep nemau. We don't really like to teach the shortened form of the verb in the beginning because we want people to learn the whole verb, the mate wo-me-chook, mate wo-me-chomp, and mate wo-me-chook, but you can shorten that and it's nemau, emau, umau. When you say the emau, you have to have that glottal in there. Emau, it's kind of a harder in there, clicking K. Emau, not Kamau. A little memory game using our other question word because we learned the Kues for when, where, why, and how. And we also learned last week, teat now is for who. Who is it? Teat now. Victoria, teat now umau, quel.
Tiana Umau. Weshquel.
Yeah. Tiana, teat now umau, shregon.
Victoria. Shregon Umau.
Yes. Nemau, kemau, umau. Mate wo-me-chook, mate wo-me-chomp, mate wo-me-chook. The other thing is just thinking about that, the mate wo-me-chook, the may, it's not may, like M-A-Y. It has that glottal on there, so it's mate. Mate wo-me-chook. Those sounds are important. So mate wo-me-chook. So Kichwe, that was a good class. Chutney.